Watch, Antifa scum confront peaceful protester. What this cop does next is going viral. Just this week, Antifa protesters and hateful far-left groups have erased decades of American history. They've been so thoroughly misled by our liberal propaganda that they've now come to hate everything that this country stands for. They want complete and utter censorship. Hundreds of outright protesters, led by Richard Spencer in Baked, Alaska, came together around the Robert E. Lee Monument in Charlottesville. They wanted to send a message loud and clear to the liberals in this country: you will not destroy our heritage. CNN has been completely twisting the truth over this event, as usual. Most of the right-wing protesters were peaceful, such as this young man in a viral video caught on camera. They were stoic, and maybe even intimidating, but that's to be expected when you're facing off against some of the most truthless, Soros-funded thugs on the planet. The left has repeatedly grown violent, despite peaceful conservative protesters. They grew violent in Charlottesville, North Carolina, and Baltimore. Now, they've just been caught on tape aggressively confronting a peaceful protester in Virginia. Charlottesville was, of course, the first domino in this long chain of events. This led to violence on the part of the left, which eventually led to Muslim groups such as CAIR and anti-American groups such as Antifa calling for complete and total censorship of our monuments. Silence is Consent previously reported on how Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh removed 4 Confederate monuments in the dark of night. Catherine Pugh, the woman responsible for this eradication of our history, has a history of supporting anti-American causes and pandering to Antifa. A die-hard liberal, the mayor has frequently come under fire for being far too lenient on the black crime rampant through the city. This makes her a perfect Muslim ally. Muslims understand that they need to convert American leaders onto their side, and liberals are the dumbest and easiest politicians to convert. This is why it should come as no surprise that Pugh has decided to remove all of Baltimore's Confederate statues just 24 hours after CAIR and their Antifa allies demanded that they be torn down. Now, after this Baltimore mayor has surrendered to Muslim demands, we must shine a light on this violent, disgusting practice going on under our noses. Liberals and radical Muslims have formed an unholy alliance, and are hell-bent on destroying every single piece of history that this great nation has created, which means it's on us to stop them. The media, of course, has completely ignored this dynamic. They want you to think that every single Antifa vermin is a noble crusader, on a quest for justice, when in reality this couldn't be much further from the truth. They're angry, violent millennials who were never told no, as children, and now that their candidate didn't win they're melting down. Antifa doesn't care about tolerance or peace, which is why they're so quick to riot and start a war with conservatives. They're claiming the moral high ground, when in reality, it's conservatives who have it. We're desperately clinging to our heritage which is being destroyed, they're the ones destroying it. In the video below, a young man was caught honoring his ancestors, who presumably fought and died in the Civil War. He was peacefully standing by the statue of Robert E. Lee, with a Confederate uniform and Confederate flag, and was immediately confronted by vile leftists. "Terrorists go home," they shouted as they gave him the middle finger. "You racist bigot," one woman yelled. The young man did not retaliate, he continued to salute the statue of Robert E. Lee, and that's when an officer came up. Note how brainwashed the leftists are, they're like lemmings. They just follow one another, in a maddening cycle of groupthink, because they're too dumb to form their own thoughts. They don't care about the truth, they just latch on to the latest social trend and claim they're doing it for equality. This police officer clearly saw what was going on here, and decided to take the high road. He walked over to the group of unleashed protesters, and safely escorted the man to his police car, not to arrest him, but to congratulate him. "I wanted to honor my ancestors today, sir. They need to know that what they fought for wasn't slavery or oppression. Thank you, sir," the young man said before climbing into the officer's car. Right before the video ends though, the cop says something that will absolutely blow you away. He's confronted by a vile, nasty woman, as Trump would say, who tries to provoke him. You can't even walk out of the park by yourself, huh? So proud and brave, she says in response to the police having to escort this young man away from the violent Antifa members. The officer looks her dead in the eye, and says, "You want another Saturday, don't you? You should be ashamed of yourself." He then walks away, and she's left speechless. She tries to come up with a dumb response, but it falls completely flat. The young man who was brave enough to protest this statue and the police officer who protected him must be commended. They're fighting for freedom, in the face of leftist oppression, as are many of us. We cannot cave into leftist demands any longer. If we do, it's only a matter of time before they begin to keep pushing, like stubborn children. They don't know when to stop. So it's time for the 150 million patriots who put Trump in office to show them that now, it's time to stop. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.